Alrighty. So problem number 23. A school wants to know whether the proportion of students who prefer online homework differs between juniors and seniors. So we have two samples here. So we'll call it, let's just call p hat 1 is 90 out of 150. As for juniors, these are students who prefer online homework. And then p hat 2 is for seniors, it's 70 out of 140. So let's just use a calculator really quickly. 90 divided by 150, that's 0.6. And this one's just straightforward. It's just 0.5, it's 50%. So we need to construct a 95% confidence interval for the difference in proportion. And then we have to interpret it. Okay. So for the parameter, this one is pretty straightforward. We need to state that let P1 minus P2 equals the true difference in proportions of juniors and seniors who prefer online homework. The name of the game is a two sample, this is two proportion Z interval. So two samples and its proportion, so we use Z. One, they did tell us it's two random samples, right? Did they? Oh. They didn't state it that it was random. This is kind of bad. So we have to assume it. We'll assume that the two samples are random or representative of population. Otherwise, we can't do it. So number two, we need to assume that in this sample, for independence, that 150 is less than 10% of all the juniors, and likewise 140 is less than 10% of all the seniors. So it never stated that it's random, but we can assume this one. So number three, we need to check for normality. So for normality, we need to check that we have enough juniors and seniors that prefer online homework and don't. So for juniors, it did tell us that it's 90, right? So 90 is bigger than or equal to 10. And the complement of that is 150 minus 90. So that's what, 60? That's bigger than 10. So this is prefer, not prefer. We can do the same for seniors. They told us that 70 prefer online homework. So we say 70 is bigger than 10. So that's prefer. And then 140 minus 70, which is also 70, is bigger than 10. No prefer. So, so we're good at both. So for work, use the formula, the confidence interval is equal to p hat 1 minus p hat 2 plus or minus the critical value times, so it's going to be p hat 1 1 minus p hat 1 all over n1 plus p hat 2 times 1 minus p hat 2 all over n2. So the confidence interval is equal to 0.6 minus 0.5 plus or minus, because it's 95%, C is 95%. We look at table B, the number right above 95% is 1.96. So it's 1.96 times the square root of 0.6 times 0.4 all over 150. That's for juniors, and for seniors is 0.5 times 0.5 times 140. And if you do up math, it should be 0.1 plus or minus 0.114. So if you subtract it first, you should get like negative 0.014. The upper bound should be 0.214. So when we conclude this, we need to say like we are 95% confident that the true difference in proportions of juniors and seniors who prefer online homework is between what's going on here? Is between negative 0.014 and 0.214. Because our confidence interval captures 0, you can think of it two ways. The null is that P1 equals to P2, right? That means that, i.e., P1 minus P2 is equal to 0, right? Since our confidence interval is 0.014 to 0.214 captures 0, that means that there's no difference. No 0. Which means that there's no difference. There isn't convincing evidence that there is a difference, that there is a difference.